So I think the 49, these are two pretty well-rounded teams too.
Yeah.
I mean, Rodgers is a better quarterback than Garoppolo, but I still feel good enough that Garoppolo can go win a game for you, even if he's had some blips along the way. You got a great play caller in San Francisco. Shanahan can always scheme it up. You've got Green Bay, who's gotten great production out of Aaron Jones in the running game. I think in part just because they're running when they should run type of thing. And Jones is doing a good job of creating after contact. And then the Packers, we've seen their defense show glimpses with their pass rush and J.R. Alexander on the back end. I mean, the Niners have the most improved defense in the NFL between their pass rush and coverage. So I think it's two really well-balanced NFC teams.
How's our financial plan coming?
Super! Chris, any advice?
With Western and Southern, preparing for your financial future can be easier than you think. Favorite receiver?
Huh?
To get started, visit westernsouthern.com.
All right, and then a huge NFC matchup. Green Bay Packers at San Francisco 49ers.
Sunday night football.
This is a Sunday night football battle. What are you looking for in this one?
We're starting to get healthy Devontae Adams back. He missed some time.
Yeah.
Even when he came back, he clearly wasn't 100%. It's the kind of injury that slows down a receiver and you lose a little something, particularly a guy like him who is so good at route running and sudden movements that shift him open, that kind of stuff. So I think we're starting to see signs of him coming back. How he does against that San Francisco secondary that's been really good is going to be fascinating. And then the other thing is Green Bay's pass protection against San Francisco's pass rush. Those are all the sort of all interlinked. How Adams does against that secondary and how much help that secondary gets by the pass rush. Like Nick Bosa against David Bakhtiari is one of the best one-on-one matchups of the week as well. Bakhtiari is one of the best pass blocking tackles in the game. Has been the best for a few years. Nick Bosa literally has the best pass rush win rate of any player in the game right now, regardless of position. Impressive. Which is insane for a rookie. A lot of people are sort of talking about, Bosa versus Bosa, the two brothers, where they rank, all that kind of stuff. Their ability to hit the ground running in the NFL is kind of nuts, right?
Yeah.
Both guys missed time at the start of their career through, holdout or injury or whatever. And both guys just hit the ground running like they were savvy NFL veterans. There was no transition whatsoever, no dip in performance, and then a growth period after they got it. They just stopped playing at Ohio State, came to the NFL, and continued playing at the same rate, which is pretty ridiculous. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and it wasn't... Myles Garrett kind of did too, and those were the two Bosas and Myles Garrett are the three guys in our pass rush grades, or just in our overall grades, that have just dominated their whole careers, pretty much start to finish in college. And it's not like we're breaking stories about how good they are and the NFL didn't know. I mean, they were all top three picks. So it kind of makes sense that those three have all done a really nice job.
But even Garrett there was significantly more of a transition period.
Yeah, he
for
took
Garrett
a little
to
bit
dominate than there was
the Bosas. And, I think a big part of the Bosa transition too is they were good in college because they were so technically sound.
Yes.
When people are scouting a Myles Garrett, I didn't hear any. The only weaknesses I heard, Sam, was that he played an instrument and he was a little soft. That was the weakness that I heard about Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Because he had the freaky athletic ability and length and size, and he kept getting bigger and power and all that stuff, right? And the production. Both Bosas were easier to pick apart. It's like, well, he's not the fastest off the line of scrimmage, and he's not,
The biggest criticisms about them were, has he already maxed out his ability?
Right.
It's like, well, he's already technically and fundamentally sound, so is this as good as he can get?
Yeah.
To which the answer is, well, maybe, but if it is, he's still like a Pro Bowl player.
Right. So if he's already good enough, it doesn't. So that's the whole thing, right? They weren't the most it's like explosive or bendy or anything like that.
It was like, where's the room for growth? And it's like, well, maybe there isn't any, but that's because he's already a Pro Bowl caliber player.
Both so technically
what's
sound.
the problem?
So then you've got Aaron Rodgers. He's taken 22 sacks this year. Again, sack rate very much driven by the quarterback. He's done a better job this year of he's avoided a bunch of sacks this year, and he's done a better job of just generally avoiding those negative plays.
Yeah, I mean, he always avoids a bunch, but that's not to say he isn't to blame for a lot of them as well.
Right. He's just done a better job overall at avoiding those negative plays that hurt him a lot last year.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. You also have, Jimmy
what did I write down?
Garoppolo. How well is he going to play? Because generally this season, he hasn't actually played that well. We've definitely seen glimpses of it, but we haven't seen Jimmy G playing like a dominant force on this team, and yet the team has been rolling. So
he's had a bunch of weird games, right? He's had a lot of games where his overall grade is kind of brought down by one or two throws. And it's not to say that one or two throws if you have one or two interceptions in a game, it does actually influence how well you play it. And that's kind of been Jimmy G. Things are going okay, and then it's like bad red zone decision, right? It's been that a lot.
So we have charged Aaron Rodgers for 7 of the sacks this season, which is tied for 5th.
Yeah.
You know who leads the league in that?
Kyler.
Yeah. With
14. 15.
Mitchell Trubisky is second with 13, and he's played a lot less.
And that was, you talk about the things that Trubisky's regressed at. If there was one thing he did a pretty nice job of last year is picking up, plays with his legs and avoiding sacks.
Yeah.
That's why QBR loved him last year.
He's had like 140 fewer dropbacks than Kyler, and is only 2 sacks behind.
Yeah, he's just not seeing it.
Just one more of the ways in which Trubisky has not been good.
So I think the 49, these are two pretty well-rounded teams too.
Yeah.
Rodgers is a better quarterback than Garoppolo, but I still feel good enough that Garoppolo can go win a game for you, even if he's had some blips along the way. You got a great play caller in San Francisco. Shanahan can always scheme it up. You've got Green Bay, who's gotten great production out of Aaron Jones in the running game. I think in part just because they're running when they should run type of thing. And Jones is doing a good job of creating after contact. And then the Packers, we've seen their defense show glimpses with their pass rush and J.R. Alexander on the back end. The Niners have the most improved defense in the NFL between their pass rush and coverage. So I think it's two really well-balanced NFC teams.
The 49ers also have a brutal schedule to come in. Like, they're doing well record-wise, but they face one of the most ridiculously tough schedules you're going to see. They have, I think 3 teams down the stretch that are they have like an 800 or better record right now.
Yeah,
which I think is tough. I don't think it's something like I don't know that it's ever happened at this point in the season, and only 4 teams have faced a 3-week. I think they have a 3-week stretch where they face those, and it's only happened where teams have faced 3 teams of that caliber in a season 4 times. So
really,
their schedule generally is pretty brutal.
One other thing to keep an eye on: the Niners have had a few games where they've run the ball extremely well.
Yeah,
this year, dominant run games, and the Packers with Mike Pettin have been one of those teams that say, "Hey, go ahead, run it. We're inviting you to run the ball," which could be just an overall philosophy in Green Bay that we would encourage here at PFF, or it could just be more game plan oriented. If it's game plan oriented, do they say, well, the Niners want to run the ball a lot, so we have to dedicate more people to it and in the box? If they don't, you might see them inviting the Niners to average 5 yards per carry, and then kind of hope that they can win up front. Then it becomes an O-line, D-line battle. So just something to keep an eye on Sunday Night Football.
I went with the 49ers. You went with Green Bay. This game's kind of split, pretty even amongst the picks.
Yeah, I like Green Bay.
Well, okay, whatever.
But yeah, Rodgers against that Niners secondary should be a good battle.
Yeah.
For sure. Should be a good one.
Definitely one of the best games of the week.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.